All right, welcome back to Jammin' Sports, everybody, as we shift our attention now from football to baseball. As we have wrapped up Week 14 of our NFL season, so we'll go to the baseball playoffs now. We'll have Game 4 of the National League Division Series between the Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres. When you look at the bracket up there, you can see on the right side that Miami leads San Diego 2-1 in this best of 5. That means the Marlins can wrap up this NLDS with a win today and move on to play the Diamondbacks in the National League Championship Series. When you look over on the left side of the bracket, you see the Yankees have already advanced to the ALCS. They'll play either the Athletics or the Royals. The A's lead that best of 5, 2-1. All right. Want to give you an update on football. Evil Dead is now 106. He's now 107 and 74. He doesn't do baseball, but just want to update you there on that. If you're watching on YouTube, please follow, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. All right, let's head out to Petco Field in San Diego for this one. Game 4 between the Marlins and the Padres here at Jammin' Sports. There's your lineups. And the cat whining in the background. Jammin' Sports presents Game 4 of the National League Division Series between the Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres. Live from Petco Field, San Diego, California. Marlins lead this best of 5, 2-1, and can wrap it up tonight. As we go to the top of the first inning, great to have you along on this Sunday. Oh boy, I'm going to have a hard time with that one. Masachi Kaneda is the starting pitcher for the Padres. Howard Easterling, the leadoff batter, the center fielder for the Marlins. Kaneda on the mound. Here's the pitch. And we're underway. We have a light rain here in San Diego. First pitch in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1 to Easterling. Just underway, Game 4. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Easterling. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch by Kaneda. Ripped foul down the first base line. Evens the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down the first base line. Fair ball by Easterling down the right field line. Winfield will pick it up, throw it in. They'll keep Easterling for a single. A leadoff hit for the Marlins here in game number 4. John Beckwith up next. He's the first baseman. The pitch. Down low, 1-0.
Count 1-0.
So nobody out, runner on first for the Marlins here in the top of the first inning. Marlins can wrap up the series tonight with a win, or the Padres can force a Game 5. 1-0 pitch.
That's ball 2.
Up high, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Easterling at first base. Canetta on the mound for the Padres. 2-0 pitch. In their first strike, 2-1. Two balls and a strike to John Beckwith, the first baseman. They throw to first. Easterling's back in time. Count remains at 2-1. Two-one pitch. Up high, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike to Beckwith. Three-one pitch. Beckwith pops it up. Oh, at first base, will take it for out number 1. Beckwith pops out to first, 1 down for the Marlins here in the top of the first. There's the starting lineup for Florida. Rap Dixon is up next. He's the right fielder. Kind of rain coming down here in San Diego tonight. With 1 out, runner on first, Rap Dixon will come up. They throw to first. Easterling back in time. Dixon at the plate. And now the pitch.
Nope, outside.
Outside. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. We're in the top of the first. No score. 1 out. Runner on first for the Marlins. And now the 1-0 pitch. Did he go around?
Did he go?
Yes, he did. Count goes to 1-1 to Dixon. One pitch. There goes the runner, Easterling. He's safe at second base. Howard Easterling with a stolen base for the Marlins. And now they have a runner at second base with 1 out. The count is 2-1 now to Rap Dixon. Two-one pitch. That one's hit to the warehouse. A 2-run blast by Rap Dixon. Excuse me. And the Marlins take a 2-0 lead here in the top of the first. He hit the old warehouse. Let's watch this one again. Dixon got all of that one. I think that hit the roof on the warehouse. Let's take a look. Where did that one end up? No. Third deck. Still pretty good. Piper Davis comes up next, the second baseman.
Ball 1.
1 out. Marlins up 2-0. The ball was the pitch was a ball. Count goes to 1-0. Bases empty, 1 out. Excuse me. 2-0 Marlins. Pitch by Canetta. In their first strike, they'll leave the count at 1-1. One pitch. Inside. Count goes to 2-1. So the Marlins jump out to a 2-1 lead, or 2-0 lead. Here's the pitch.
Ball 3.
Ball 3, down low, 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Ripped right to second base. George Scales makes the play for the out. So Davis grounds out to second. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the first. And now Vic Harris will come up. He's left fielder. Excuse me. The pitch
Ball 1.
outside, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strike.
1-0 pitch.
Ball
Up high, 2-0.
2-0.
2 outs, base is empty. The 2-0 pitch. He went around, 2-1. 2-1 pitch.
Inside, ball
Inside, 3-1. All of a sudden, got a coughing fit. 3-1 to Harris. It's in there for a strike. Full count now. 3-2 to Vic Harris. 3-2 pitch. Fouls that off down the third base line. Stays alive at the plate with a 3-2 count. Three-two pitch. Struck him out. That'll end the inning. However, Rap Dixon, a 2-run shot, gives the Marlins an early 2-0 lead here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Dontrell Willis, the starting pitcher for the Marlins. And he'll be facing Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, leadoff batter for the Padres. Here's the pitch by Willis. Tatis out to center field. Easterling goes over and makes the play for the out. Nice hustle there by Howard Easterling. 1 down. There's the Padres starting lineup. Jackson Merrill will come up next. He's the center fielder. Marlins lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the first. Merrill, the center fielder, comes up. Here's the pitch by Willis. Popped it up into left field. Vic Harris gets under it and makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres. Quickly, 2 up, 2 down. And now Sadaharu, the first baseman, comes up. Facing Dontrell Willis. Pitch by Willis. Fouled off. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Up high. They'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. 3 balls and a strike to Sadaharu. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch. Popped it up. Down the right field line. That's going to fall foul. And the count goes full at 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Shortstop can't get to it. It's a base hit. A 2-out single for Sadaharu keeps the inning alive for the Padres.
The second baseman, number 7.
Second baseman George Scales comes up. 2 outs, runner on first. Pitch by Willis. In there for a strike, 0-1. They throw to first. O's back in time. And now the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. The 1-1 pitch.
Ball, that's out.
Outside, 2-1. Next pitch is fouled off. Count goes to 2-2 to Scales. 2-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of one complete, Marlins lead it 2-0 here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Next up, as we go to the top of the second for the Marlins, will be Heavy Johnson. That's the catcher. Or here's the pitch. In their first strike, 0-1. Top of the second inning. Canada still on the mound for the Marlins, or for the Padres, excuse me. 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1.
I got 1 ball, 1 strike.
Count goes to 1-1 to Johnson. In their first strike, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out, nobody on. 1-2 pitch to Johnson.
Ball, that's off.
Outside, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the first baseline. Counts at 2-2 to Heavy Johnson. Two-two pitch. Down low, full count now, 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Rips it foul down the first baseline, stays alive at the plate. Count remains at 3-2. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. 1 down for the Marlins here in the top of the second inning. And now Derek Lee, the DH, will come up. 1 out, bases empty. Inside, 1-0. Game 4 of the NLDS. The Marlins wrap it up with a win. They lead it 2-1. They lead the game 2-0 at the moment. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Lee. Inside, 2-0. Excuse me. 1 out, bases empty. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead here with you tonight. Watching some baseball. We did our 2 football games already. Here's the 2-0. Pops it up, out of play. Count goes to 2-1 to Derek Lee. Two-one pitch. Low and inside, 3-1. Three balls and a strike to Lee. 3-1 pitch. And that's going to be a base hit into shallow center field. A 1-out single for Lee. So the Marlins with a runner aboard. Merrill threw the ball in. And now the shortstop, Hanley Ramirez, will come up. 1 out, runner on first. Outside, 1-0. Ramirez at the plate with 1 out and a runner on first base. Derek Lee at first. And now the 1-0. A ground ball. Scales throws to first. They get the batter out. It's going to be a sacrifice for Ramirez. That'll move Lee over to second base. And now Edgar Renteria will come up next. The third baseman. 2 outs now. Runner on second. Derek Lee at second base. A base hit would probably score him. The pitch to Renteria. Down low, 1-0.
Counts 1-0.
One-0 pitch.
Nope.
Down low, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner on second base. As Derek Lee. Marlins up 2-0. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 2-1. Two and one with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. Evens the count at 2-2. Canetta trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run. And now the 2-2 pitch to Renteria. Struck him out looking. At the end of 1.5, the Marlins lead at 2-0. Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Leading off for the Padres will be Luke Easter. He's the catcher. And Dontrell Willis still on the mound. Pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Marlins lead it 2-0. We're in the bottom of the second. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Luke Easter. Oh, 2 pitch. Jammed him inside, popped him up into shallow right, and it's fielded by the second baseman, Piper Davis, for out number 1. So Easter pops out to second, 1 down. Phil Nevin comes up next, and he is the left fielder for the Padres. 1 out, bases empty here in the bottom of the second. Pitch by Willis, up high, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Excuse me. Down low, 2-0 to Nevin. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out, bases empty. 2-0 pitch. Hit high in the air. Out to right center fielder. Who wants to get it? Rap Dixon in right. Makes the play for out number 2. Nevin flies out to right. 2 down. And now the right fielder, Dave Winfield, will come up for the Padres with 2 outs, bases empty. Pitch by Willis. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1.
0-1.
Counts 0-1 to Winfield. Here's the pitch. Fouls that off. Count goes to 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. 1-2 pitch. Jammed him inside, fouled it off. Counts at 1-2. One-two pitch. Ground ball. Back to Willis. Easy out. As Winfield grounds out to the pitcher. At the end of 2 complete. Marlins lead at 2-0. Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. Howard Easterling, the center fielder, will lead things off for the Marlins. Here in the top of the 3rd. Canada still on the mound. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-0. It's in there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Next pitch, inside. Count goes to 2-1. Two-one pitch. Ripped foul down the first baseline. And the count to Easterling evens up at 2-2. We're in the top of the 3rd. Marlins up 2-0. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging for out number 1. One down for the Marlins here in the third.
Number 27.
John Beckwith up next, the first baseman. The pitch in there for a strike, 0-1.
0-1's the count.
One out, bases empty. We're at Petco Park in San Diego. Pardon me. Got a coughing fit. Here's the 0-1.
0-1.
Down low, 1-1. One pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2 to Beckwith. Marlins up 2-0. Two-one pitch or 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2 to John Beckwith, the first baseman. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off down the first base line. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. Taking a lot of pitches so far. The 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be into shallow right. That's going to drop for a base hit. A 1-out single for John Beckwith. He gets aboard. And once again, I'm going to step away for a couple of seconds. I'll be right back. Rap Dixon will come up next. I'm back. They throw to first. Beckwith back in time. The count's 0-1 to Rap Dixon. He took the first pitch for a strike. 1 out, runner on first.
Ball, that's out.
Ball outside. Count goes to 1-1 to Dixon. And now the 1-1. Took a big swing and miss. Count goes to 1-2 to Rap Dixon. He's the right fielder. 1-2 pitch. Outside. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first. Two-two pitch. There goes the runner. And Beckwith steals second base. But the batter struck out. Rap Dixon struck out, 2 outs. Beckwith at second base now. And now Piper Davis comes up, the second baseman with 2 outs, runner on second. Davis, the second baseman. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-0. You don't see that very often, a third strike and then a steal on the same pitch. Two outs, runner on second, that's Beckwith. The 1-0 pitch to Davis. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. 2-1 the count now. Two-one pitch. Ripped out to left field. Nevin goes over in the corner and makes, oh, it's off. It's in foul territory. I thought he made the catch at first. Counts at 2-2 to Davis. It's a foul ball. 2-2 pitch. And that's ripped foul down the third base line. Davis stays alive with a 2-2 count. Beckwith still at second base. Counts at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Tatis will throw to first for the... Oh, he's off the bag. Everybody's safe. That's going to be a throwing error on Tatis. Everybody's safe. Beckwith moves down to third. And Davis is safe at first on a throwing error. Pulled him off the bag. Runners on the corners now for the Marlins with 2 outs. Here in the top of the third, they already lead at 2-0. And now Vic Harris comes up, the left fielder. 2 outs, runners at first and third. Pitched by Canetta. Outside, 1-0. Harris back in the box. They throw to first. Davis back in time. Counts at 1-0 to Harris. One 0 pitch. Low and outside. 2-0.
2 balls, no strike.
A walk will load the bases. Two 0 pitch. Up high, 3-0. If the Marlins win this game, they wrap up the series, and they would take on the Diamondbacks in the American League Championship Series. Diamondbacks swept the Dodgers 3-0. 3-0 pitch. Outside. Ball 4. It's a walk. A 2-out walk. Bases loaded now for the Marlins. And coming up to bat, Heavy Johnson. He's the catcher. 2 outs, bases loaded. Here in the top of the third. Johnson steps up. Here's the pitch. Up high, ball 1. A walk would score a run. Counts out 1-0. One 0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Ripped down the line. Third baseman makes the play for the out. And that will end the Marlin threat at the end of 2.5. Marlins lead at 2-0. Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Third baseman Ken Caminiti, who just made that fine play, will lead things off for the Padres here in the bottom of the third. Facing Dontrell Willis. Popped it up into right field. Rap Dixon makes the play for out number 1. So Caminiti pops out to right, or flies out to right. One down here in the bottom of the third. Adrian Gonzalez comes up next. And he is the DH today. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1.
1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. Marlins up 2-0. Here's the pitch. Ripped foul. Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Popped it up. Into left field. Vic Harris comes under it. And makes the play for out number 2. Gonzalez flies out to left. 2 down for the Padres. And now the shortstop, Fernando Tatis, will come up with 2 outs. Bases empty. The pitch. Low and inside, 1-0. One 0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. That'll even the count at 1-1. 2 outs, bases empty. The 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2 to Tatis. And now the 1-2 pitch. Caught him inside, fouled it off. Stays alive at the plate with a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 3 complete, Marlins lead at 2-0 here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Derek Lee will lead things off for the Marlins. The DH. He had a single last time he came up. Canetta's still on the mound for the Padres. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Marlins up 2-0. Trying to wrap up the series tonight. We're in the top of the 4th. The pitch by Canetta. And that's going to be fouled off down the first base line. Count quickly, 0-2 to Lee. 0-2 pitch. Fouled it off. Count remains at 0-2 to Derek Lee. 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. A ground ball. Scales at second, picks it up, throws for the out. So Derek Lee grounds out to second, 1 down. George Scales makes the play for the Padres. Hanley Ramirez up next. He's the shortstop. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the pitch. Up high, 1-0.
Ball 1, no strike.
One out, bases empty. The count's 1-0 to Ramirez. 1-0 pitch.
Nope.
Inside, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch.
Yeah.
In there for a strike, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Ripped it foul down the third base line. That'll even the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 4th. Petco Park in San Diego is where we are. And now Edgar Renteria will come up next, the third baseman, with 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch by Canetta. In there for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Renteria.
0-2 is the count.
No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty. 0-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play, 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Struck him out swinging. That'll end the inning. After 3.5, the Marlins lead at 2-0. Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Jackson Merrill will lead things off for the Padres, the center fielder. Willis still on the mound for the Marlins. Miami up 2-0. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-0. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Jimmy Jam with Evil Dead here with you tonight from San Diego. The 1-1. Fouls it off. Counts at 1-2 to Jackson Merrill. One-two pitch. Struck him out swinging for out number 1. Willis has been dominant on the mound. He's only allowed 1 base runner. Next up, the first baseman, Sadahara O. 1 out, bases empty. First pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner. Crowd didn't like that one. One out, bases empty. Counts 0-1 to 0. Here's the pitch. He went around, strike 2. Petco Park in San Diego is where we are, located right downtown. And now the 0-2 pitch. High in the air, out to left field. Vic Harris comes over and makes the play for out number 2. Oh, flies out to left. 2 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 4th. Second baseman George Scales comes up. Pitch by Willis.
Nope.
Up high, 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch.
I got 3 and 2.
Down low, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Full count to George Scales. The pitch by Willis. Fouls it off, stays alive at the plate with a 3-2 count. Three-two pitch. Fouls it off down the first base line. Stays alive at 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the third base line. As Scales stays alive with a 3-2 count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung and struck him out. They'll throw down to first to make it official. At the end of 4 complete, Marlins lead it 2-0 here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Javits Sports. We go to the top of the 5th. Center fielder Howard Easterling will lead things off for the Marlins. They lead it 2-0, trying to wrap things up tonight and move on to the NLCS. Canetta, his first pitch, ground ball to Scales at second, throws to first for the out. Easterling grounds out to second base, 1 down for the Marlins. Here in the top of the 5th. And now John Beckwith, the first baseman, comes up. 1 out, bases empty. Pitch by Canetta. In there for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Broken bat. Canetta will throw to first in time. So Beckwith grounds out to the pitcher. A close play at first, but I think they made the right call. A broken bat, ground out, back to the pitcher. That was close, but they got him. 2 down for the Marlins, and now Rep Dixon comes up, the right fielder. He had a home run earlier. He hit the 2-run shot that gave the Marlins the 2-0 lead back in the first inning. Pitches a strike. Count goes to 0-1. 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. The count goes to 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. Inside. Count goes to 1-2 to Rap Dixon. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. Struck him out. That'll end the inning. 2-0 Marlins. We go to the bottom of the fifth here at Jammin' Sports. Luke Easter will lead things off for the Padres, the catcher. Here in the bottom of the fifth of the NLDS, Game 4. Dontrell Willis still on the mound for the Marlins. Up high, 1-0.
Count 1-0.
Marlins still lead it 2-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. And that's fouled off. That'll even the count at 1-1. Tomorrow night we'll have football at 8 o'clock. It'll be the 49ers and the Saints as we kick off Week 15 outside 2-1. And then after that, we'll either have Game 5 of this series as he rips that one down the line if the Padres come back and win, or we'll have Game 4 of the A's and the Royals after football tomorrow night. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2 to Luke Easter. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Ground ball. Base hit into right field. A leadoff single for the Padres here in the bottom of the fifth by Luke Easter. So the Padres have a runner aboard. Phil Nevin comes up, the left fielder for the Padres. Nobody out, runner on first. A chance for the Padres to get back in this. Willis looks in. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Count quickly, 0-2 to Nevin. Nobody out, runner on first base for the Padres. Here in the bottom of the fifth, down 2-0. Pitch by Willis. High in the air. Out to Rap Dixon in right. Makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting, number 33.
1 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the fifth. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, comes up. 1 out, runner on first. Pitch by Willis. There goes the runner, and he's safe. Luke Easter still second base. And now the Padres with a runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the fifth. The count's 1-0 to Winfield. They throw to second, and Easter's back in time. Count remains at 1-0 to Winfield. 1-0 pitch. Grounded off. Count remains at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on second. 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to third, and they get the runner at first base, a fielder's choice. The runner does not move. Third baseman Edgar Renteria making the play for the Marlins. And now his counterpart at third, Ken Caminiti, comes up for the Padres with 2 outs and a runner on second. The pitch outside, 1-0. Two outs for the Padres, trying to get a run in. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0 to Ken Caminiti, the third baseman. I like these Marlins uniforms. I actually have a Marlins jersey like that. I got it years ago. Outside, 3-0. I have a road jersey that looks just like that. Hanging up in my closet here. .30 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1 to Ken Caminiti. Crowd didn't like that. I thought that was a ball myself. Here's the 3-1. In there for a strike. Full count now to Caminiti at 3-2. Stud Lover Boy's in the house. How you doing, Stud? 3-2 pitch. Popped up in the air. Left fielder Vic Harris makes the play for the final out. At the end of 5 complete, the Marlins lead at 2-0 here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Petco Park. To answer your question, Stud, no, I haven't. Not yet. I'm still finishing up this season with 24. Piper Davis comes up to lead things off. He takes a strike, the second baseman. Canetta's still on the mound for the Padres. Good to see you there, Stud Lover Boy. Counts 0-1. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, quickly 0-2. You got Bell and Clement warming up for the Padres. Counts at 2-0 to Piper Davis. 0-2 pitch. Down low. 1-2. We did a couple of football games earlier today. We wrapped up week 14 as the Dolphins beat the Packers and the Eagles upset the Steelers. So we've got baseball on now. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball to Scales at second. He throws to first for the out. So Davis grounds out to second. George Scales makes the play. What you been up to, Stud Lover Boy? I hope things are good with you. Vic Harris, the left fielder, now will come up with 1 out. Base is empty. Down low, 1-0. If the Marlins win this, they wrap up the series and move on to the ALCS against the Diamondbacks. Here's the 1-0. Down the line. You start a new job. Cool. What are you doing now? That's always exciting. Counts at 1-1 to Harris. What are you doing now? Here's the 1-1. Big swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2 to Vic Harris. Plumbing. Hey, that's a job that's always got a demand right there. Electricians, plumbers, you'll always have a job. Swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 6th. I know somebody who's an electrician, and he makes big bucks. He's a young man who graduated trade school about a year ago. He's already making 6 figures. Down the line, a base hit into the corner for Heavy Johnson, who comes up. So Heavy Johnson, the catcher, a 2-out single for the Marlins. That's great, Stud. And Johnson ends up on second base. That'll be a 2-out double. And now the DH, Derek Lee, comes up. Popped it up. Scales at second, calls everybody off, and will make the play. At the end of 5.5, the Marlins still lead at 2-0 here in Game 4 of the ALDS here at Jammin' Sports. The Marlins lead this best-of-5 series 2-1. They can wrap it up tonight. Adrian Gonzalez will lead things off for the Padres. He's the DH tonight. Facing Willis, who's still on the mound. Davis is now with us. Inside, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. If the Padres can come back, then they can force a Game 5. But they're facing elimination. Here's the 1-0. Down low, 1-1. Marlins still lead it 2-0. One pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Adrian Gonzalez. And now the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play. Count remains at 2-2. Two pitch. Up high, full count, 3-2. 3-2 pitch. Out of play, 3-2. Three-two pitch. Ball four. It's a leadoff walk for the Padres here in the bottom of the sixth. Only down 2-0. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, will come up next. Nobody out, runner on first. A chance for the Padres now. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0. One-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, runner on first. 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. Two-one pitch. Fouls it off down the first baseline. And the count evens up at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Inside, 3-2. Full count to Fernando Tatis. Three-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with a 3-2 count. The 3-2. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 3-2. And once again, the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2 to Tatis. 3-2 pitch. Ripped it into left field, a base hit. And the Padres have a runner on first and second now with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the sixth, down 2-0. Let's see if we have a pitching change. Nope, they're going to keep him in there. Jackson Merrill comes up next. He's the center fielder. Here's the pitch. Did he go around? No. Ball one. A walk would load the bases. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. A chance for the Padres. 1-0 pitch. Ripped. They're going to get two. There's 1 and 2. Double play. Merrill hits into the double play. The shortstop, actually the second baseman, Davis, starts the double play. That moves the runner to third. But now there's 2 outs with a runner on third. First baseman Sadahara O comes up. It's a ball, 1-0. 2 outs, runner on third for the Padres. 1-0 pitch. Popped it up. But that's going to be out of play. That's going to even the count at 1-1 to Sadaharu O. 2 outs, runner on third. The 1-1 pitch. Popped it up. Third baseman comes in. That's Renteria. And he'll make the play in foul territory. The Marlins hold on without giving up a run. They lead it 2-0. We go to the 7th here at Jammin' Sports. We have a new pitcher. Heath Bell will come in for the Padres here in the top of the 7th. Game 4 of the NLDS. Marlins lead it 2-0. They lead the best of 5 series 2-1. The Marlins can wrap it up with a win tonight. In the top of the 7th, Hanley Ramirez will lead things off for the Marlins here, the shortstop, facing Bell. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. One-0 pitch in their first strike, 1-1. One pitch.
That's ball 2.
Outside, 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2 balls and a strike to Ramirez. We're in the top of the 7th. 2-1 pitch. In their first strike, 2-2 to Hanley Ramirez. Two pitch. Swing and struck him out. 1 down for the Marlins here on the top of the 7th. Other than that 2-run home run, it's been a pitching duel. The Marlins got their 2 runs on a 2-run shot back in the first inning by Rap Dixon. And now Edgar Renteria comes up, the shortstop. Pitches in there for a strike. Renteria is the third baseman, I'm sorry. The count's 0-1. 1 out, base is empty. Oh, 1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. One pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Renteria. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, base is empty. 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. The Marlins will either wrap it up, or the Padres, if they can come back, they'll force a game 5. Here's the 2-2. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2 to Renteria. Two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2. Two pitch. High fly ball in the left field. Nevin goes over and makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 7th as Renteria flies out to left. Howard Easterling, the center fielder, will come up. 2 outs, base is empty. Easterling fouls that one off down the first baseline. And the count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. In their first strike, 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. Bell trying to retire the side. 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off down the third base line. Count remains at 1-2 to Howard Easterling. 1-2 pitch. Down low. They'll even the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. 3-2 pitch. Popped it up. Caminiti at third, going over and makes the play for the final out. At the end of 6.5, as we watch Caminiti's play, Marlins lead at 2-0 here in Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Marlins still lead at 2-0. George Scales, the second baseman, will lead things off. Willis on the mound for the Marlins. Here's the pitch. Scales pops it up. In right field, actually Easterling in center will make the play for out number 1. So Scales flies out to center, 1 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 7th. Petco Park in San Diego. Luke Easter, the catcher, comes up. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch, inside, 1-0. One-0 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1. Scott and Alfonseca warming up in the bullpen for the Marlins. 1 out, bases empty. The count's 1-1 to Easter. High in the air, out to left. Vic Harris goes over in foul territory and makes the play. No, he doesn't. It goes foul. It'll be a strike. Count goes to 1-2 to Easter. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Count goes to 2-2. 1 out, bases empty. 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. High fly ball into right field and making the play. Rap Dixon for out number 2. Easter flies out to right. And now Phil Nevin comes up, the left fielder for the Padres, with 2 outs, bases empty.
Ball 1.
It'll be a ball, and the count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. High fly ball down the left field line, foul. Count evens up at 1-1 to Nevin. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 pitch.
3.
Struck him out looking, and that'll end the inning. After 7 complete, the Marlins still lead at 2-0. Game 4 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 8th. Matt Clement will come on to pitch for the Padres. Marlins lead at 2-0. John Beckwith, the first baseman, will lead things off for the Marlins here in the top of the 8th. To face Clement. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0. We're at Petco Park in San Diego. Game 4 of the NLDS. The Marlins trying to wrap it up. Inside, 2-0. Marlins got 2 runs in the top of the first, and that's all the scoring we've had in this one so far. Counts 2-0 to Beckwith. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. 2-1. 2-1 pitch. Rips it foul down the third base line. And that'll even the count at 2-2. Two pitch. He swung at it. Strike 3. They'll throw to first. One down for the Marlins here in the top of the 8th. As Beckwith will strike out. Kind of swung at a bad pitch. Next up, Rap Dixon. Back in the first inning. The only score of the game, the 2-run shot by Rap Dixon. That has held up until now. And that hit the third deck of the warehouse over there in left field. That's where it landed. And now Dixon, the right fielder, comes up to the plate with 1 out, bases empty. First pitch is the ball. Count goes to 1-0. We have Williams and Davis warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. Counts at 1-0 to Rap Dixon. In there for a strike. 1-1. 1 out, bases empty. Marlins still up 2-0. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Down low, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 2-2 to Rap Dixon. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off again. Stays alive with a 2-2 pitch. And now Clement, the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Dixon goes down swinging. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 8th. Petco Park in San Diego. And now Piper Davis comes up, the second baseman. 2 outs, bases empty. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one off down the first base line. Count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Up high. That'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. 2 outs, bases empty here in the top of the 8th. Counts 2-1 to Piper Davis. 2-1 pitch. He went around. That'll even the count at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with a 2-2 count. 2-2 pitch. Inside. Full count now, 3-2. Three-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 3-2. Long at bat for Piper Davis. Three-two pitch.
No, that's it.
Ball 4. It'll be a 2-out walk. Davis is aboard for the Marlins. And now the right fielder, Vic Harris, will come up. 2 outs, runner on first. Pitch by Clement. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Ripped foul down the first base line. Count quickly 0-2 to Vic Harris. 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. Up high. Count goes to 1-2 to Vic Harris. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first. We're in the top of the 8th inning. One-two pitch. Struck him out. They'll have to throw down to first. And that's the final out. At the end of 7.5, Marlins still lead at 2-0. ALDS Game 4 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, will lead things off for the Padres. Still only down 2-0. Dontrell Willis still on the hill for the Marlins here in the 8th. In there for a strike. He's still throwing strikes. Count goes to 0-1 to Winfield. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouls it off. Counts 0-2 to Winfield. Padres are running out of outs. Here's the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, but he swung at it. They'll throw down to first. And that's 1 out. Winfield strikes out, 1 down. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Third baseman Ken Caminiti will come up next. As we look at the pitches. Caminiti comes up with 1 out. Nobody on base. Ball 1 up high. Count goes to 1-0. Marlins still lead at 2-0 here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch by Willis. Fouls that one off. Evens the count at 1-1. Willis has shut down the Padres tonight so far. Here's the 1-1. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. A 1-out single for Ken Caminiti. So the Padres get a runner aboard here in the bottom of the 8th. Up next is the DH, Adrian Gonzalez. He represents the tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. They throw to first. It gets by the first baseman, but it bounces right back. Meanwhile, Gonzalez at the plate. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-0. Padres can tie it up with 1 swing here. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. That'll even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on first. That's Caminiti at first base. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Caminiti at first. 2-2 pitch. High in the air. Out to center, and Easterling makes the play for out number 2. So Gonzalez flies out to center. 2 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 8th with a runner on first. Go to the top of the order. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, will come up. 2 outs, runner on first. Pitch by Willis. Right to the second baseman, Piper Davis, who makes the out. A line out to second, and that'll end the inning. After 8 complete, the Marlins still lead at 2-0. ALDS Game 4 NLDS here at Jammin' Sports.
Now pitching
Woody Williams will come in for the Padres here in the top of the ninth. The Marlins will be looking for some insurance runs here in the top of the ninth inning. They lead it 2-0. Heavy Johnson, the catcher, comes up first
Number 6.
here in the ninth, facing Williams. Down low, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. Marlins lead it 2-0 still. Here's the 1-0. Big swing and a miss. I'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. One-two pitch. Up high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Heavy Johnson, the catcher. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Up high. Full count, 3-2. Full count to Johnson. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive. 3-2. We're in the top of the ninth here in game 4. Marlins looking to wrap this up. Here's the 3-2. Up high. Ball 4. A leadoff walk for the Marlins here in the top of the ninth. Heavy Johnson is aboard. The DH, Derek Lee, comes up next. Nobody out, runner on first. Marlins already lead it 2-0. They throw to first. Johnson's back in time. The pitch. In there for a strike. 0-1 now to Derek Lee. Oh, 1 pitch. High in the air. Broken bat. Goes foul. And the count goes to 0-2 to Lee. 0-2 pitch. Outside. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runner on first. Heavy Johnson at first base. Here's the 1-2. Fouls that off. Count remains at 1-2. Derek Lee, the DH, at the plate. 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. Two-two pitch. And that's going to be a base hit into center field. Johnson motoring over to third. They're going to keep him at third base. Back-to-back singles for the Marlins here to start the ninth inning. And now with nobody out, they have runners at first and third. Well hit into center field, shallow center. And now Hanley Ramirez comes up next. He's the shortstop. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. A chance for the Marlins now. Nobody out with a runner on third. They have a runner at first and third. Counts 0-1 to Ramirez. 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. One pitch. Up high, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. A walk would load the bases. Nobody out. 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. Three balls and a strike. Three-one pitch. In there for a strike. Full count now, 3-2 to Ramirez. 3-2 pitch. Rips it foul down the line. Stays alive with a full count. 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 3-2. They throw to first. Not in time. Derek Lee at first base. Heavy Johnson at third. Counts 3-2 to Ramirez. 3-2 pitch. High in the air. Will that drop? Winfield makes the play. They're going to throw home. They keep him at third. Nice play by Dave Winfield in right field for the out. That keeps Heavy Johnson at third base. One down for the Marlins. And Edgar Renteria, the third baseman, comes up. One out with runners at first and third. The pitch by Williams. In there for a strike, 0-1. One out, runners on the corners. Outside, 1-1. A walk will still load the bases here. Counts at 1-1. One pitch. High in the air. Out to Winfield and right. Winfield comes over. Makes the play. They throw home. And they keep Johnson at third base. So now there's two down with runners at first and third. And now Howard Easterling, the center fielder, will come up. 2 outs, runners on the corners. The pitch. Outside, ball one.
Ball one, no strike.
A base hit would score a run. Marlins lead it 2-0. We're in the top of the ninth. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count evens up at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. A walk would load the bases. 2 balls and a strike to Howard Easterling. Two-one pitch. Outside, 3-1. Crowd getting restless here in San Diego. Counts 3-1 to Easterling. The pitch. Ball four, bases loaded. Easterling's aboard. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Marlins. And now the first baseman, John Beckwith, will come up. A base hit would score maybe 2, at least 1. Here's the pitch. Low, ball 1. A walk would score a run. We're at Petco Park in San Diego. Game 4 of the NLDS. Marlins lead the series 2-1. It's a best of 5. Here's the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1 to Beckwith. One pitch. Up high, 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2 balls and a strike to Beckwith. Bases are loaded. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Rips that one. It's hooking foul down the right field corner. Count remains at 2-2 to Beckwith. Two-two pitch. Struck him out looking. And the Marlins come up with nothing. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Marlins up 2-0. NLDS Game 4 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Marlins are 3 outs away from advancing to the NLCS. The Padres need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Center fielder Jackson Merrill will lead things off. Up high, 1-0. Dontrell Willis trying to get the complete game win. Counts out 1-0 to Merrill. 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-1. Padres are down to the last 3 outs. of the season. Here's the 1-1. Up high, 2-1 to Merrill.
2-1.
2-1 pitch. That's fouled off. They'll even the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, nobody on. Marlins still lead at 2-0. 2-0 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive with the 2-2 count. Two-two pitch. A ground ball to Davis at second for the out. Piper Davis makes the play for the Marlins at second. As Merrill grounds out to second. 1 down for the Padres. Here in the 9th. Padres are down to the last 2 outs. Sadaharu, the first baseman, comes up next. 1 out, bases empty. In their first strike, 0-1. Pitch. Fouls that one off. Counts quickly. 0-2 to Sadaharu. 0-2. Swung and struck him out. 2 down for the Padres. The Marlins are 1 out away from advancing to the NLCS to take on the Diamondbacks. George Scales, the second baseman, will come up. 2 outs, bases empty. Fouled it off. Count goes to 0-1. Padres are down to their final 2 strikes, their final out. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. Padres are down to their final strike of the season. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, foul down the third base line. Count remains 0-2 to Scales. Willis trying to get the complete game win. 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2. Padres are still down to their final strike, their final out of the season. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. Bottom of the 9th. Down 2-0. 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 2-2. Padres still down to their final out. 2-2 pitch. Outside. Full count, 3-2. Willis trying to get the complete game. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. It's a 2-out walk for Scales. The tying run comes to the plate. He has thrown a ton, is right. And they might go ahead and pull him with 2 outs. That's it for Willis. He goes 8 2/3. He didn't give up a single run. They're going to bring in somebody else to close it out. Rob Nen will come in. The tying run is now at the plate for the Padres. Down 2-0 here in the bottom of the 9th. Marlins trying to get the final out to advance to the NLCS. Luke Easter, the catcher, will come up. Can Nen retire the side? Here we go. 2 outs. Runner on first. The pitch by Nen. In their first strike, 0-1. Easter at the plate. He's the catcher. Here's the 0-1. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. And the Padres are down to their final strike once again with 2 outs. Thank you, Evil Dead. And now the 0-2. A ground ball to first. They'll take it themselves. And the Marlins have taken Game 4 and the series, winning 2-0, winning the series 3-1. The Marlins go to the National League Championship Series. Once again, your final score, the Marlins 2, the Padres nothing. The Marlins advance to the National League Championship where they'll take on the Diamondbacks. Stay tuned here at Jammin' Sports. We have NBA basketball up next. We'll see you then.